In this video, we're going to talk about how to determine whether a function is increasing, decreasing, or constant on a particular interval. So I have 3 examples here, so let's go through them. So say I were to choose this interval, basically the entire graph that I've shown here. So if I were to choose this interval, is this function increasing or decreasing on that interval? Well, it's increasing, okay? So we always read graphs from left to right, okay? So we wouldn't say, oh, you're decreasing because you're falling in this direction, because that would be reading a graph from right to left. And, just like how we read words from left to right, we read graphs left to right. So this is increasing if you're going left to right. So this is increasing. Okay, so this graph is increasing. Alright, if we were to do the next one, say we were to choose this interval here, okay, so basically everything that's shown on this graph, and we're reading left to right, so we start up here and then we're going down, so this is a decreasing graph. Okay, and then lastly, this last one is pretty obvious. This is between this interval, okay, where y is constant. So this is constant. Okay, so now let's go on and do a more difficult example. Alright, so this graph is much more complicated. We have periods over which we're increasing, we have not periods, but intervals of which we're increasing, we have intervals that were constant, we have intervals that were decreasing. So we got to identify all those here. So let's start on the left-hand side of this graph. So if we're starting all the way here from the left, and there's an arrow, meaning this continues to go on forever and so from negative infinity, okay, all the way till we get to x equals 2, the function y is decreasing. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that. So we know that we are decreasing. So we know that we are decreasing from negative infinity all the way till we get to negative 2. Okay, so first off, I just want to point out that intervals of which you're increasing or decreasing, when you say it, we're remarking on the interval as it relates to x, right? Y is what's doing the increasing and decreasing. So you don't say you're, increasing with, like y is increasing or decreasing, okay? So from negative infinity, meaning from negative x equals negative infinity to x equals 2, that's the period which you're decreasing. Okay, then from x equals 2 until x equals negative 1, we are increasing, right? Going up. So let me write that here. Increasing from negative 2 to negative 1. Okay, and then lastly, so then we're being constant. So we have a period here where we're constant, an interval that we're constant. From negative 1 to 1, constant. So let's write that, negative 1 to 1. Alright, then we continue going, and then this is increasing, right? As we read this from left to right, it's going up. So I'm going to add another interval for increasing from 1 until we get to 2. Okay, so from 1 to 2, we're increasing. And then lastly, from 2, and then to all the way till we go on to infinity, the graph is decreasing because there's an arrow, so it continues to go on forever. So let's add one more decreasing interval. So from 2 to infinity, the graph is decreasing.